Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life where a simple shift in the way we think can open doors we never knew existed. Right now, you have the ability to adopt a mindset that can immediately begin to reshape your life, not next year, not next week, but today. This is the ownership mindset. When you stop blaming, stop waiting, stop making excuses, and instead take full ownership of where you are, and where you're going, you stop being a passenger and become the driver of your life. And that is where change begins. The truth is, life is not happening to you, life is responding to you. The moment you take responsibility for your thoughts, your choices, your growth, and your future, everything changes. Opportunities that were invisible become visible. Energy you thought you lost returns. Relationships begin to improve. Your purpose begins to clarify. Why? Because now you're no longer waiting for someone to fix your life, you are the one fixing it. One of the most immediate and life-altering mindset shifts you can make is this: take 100% responsibility for your life. Not 70%, not 99%, 100%. This means taking ownership of everything: your successes, your failures, your habits, your energy, your relationships, and yes, even your pain. Why? Because the moment you shift from saying, "This happened to me," to saying, "This happened through me or because of me," you reclaim your power. Blaming circumstances, people, or the past might feel comfortable, but it also keeps you stuck. As long as you're pointing fingers, you are saying someone else is in charge of your life, and that's a dangerous place to live. Responsibility doesn't mean fault. Sometimes life throws things at us that we didn't choose: betrayal, loss, setbacks, rejection. But even in those moments, you still have a choice. How will I respond? What meaning will I assign to this? What action can I take from here? That's the mindset shift. That's the power. It's about switching from victim to victor. Victims wait. They hope someone saves them. They say, "Why me?" But people who take full responsibility say, "What now? What can I learn? What can I do?" Taking full ownership forces you to grow up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You stop whining and start working. You stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. You stop wishing things were easier and start developing the strength to handle hard things. You realize you have the pen and every day is a blank page. Will you write excuses or will you write transformation? And here's the truth. The people who transform the fastest, the leaders, the game changers, the ones who evolve and succeed, they are not the luckiest. They are not the most talented. They are the ones who say, "My life is my responsibility, period. No one's coming." It's on you, and that's not a punishment, that's a gift. Because if it's on you, that means you have the power to change it. One of the most powerful and freeing mindsets you can adopt is the ability to detach from the outcome, to focus intensely on the process and release your emotional grip on the results. Why is this so important? Because most people are mentally and emotionally imprisoned by expectations. They work hard, but they're obsessed with what they'll get: the promotion, the recognition, the money, the validation. And when those outcomes don't arrive on time, frustration builds, motivation dies, and doubt creeps in. But here's the truth: you can't control the outcome. You can only control your effort, your focus, your attitude, and your discipline. The moment you understand that results are a byproduct of process, not something you can force into existence, you begin to move with greater clarity and peace. This mindset teaches patience. It teaches trust. It teaches you how to fall in love with the journey rather than chasing the destination. When you detach from the outcome, you stop asking, "Is this working yet?" and instead say, "Am I getting better?" It's not about ignoring results, it's about not being emotionally dependent on them. It's about not tying your self-worth to external achievements. When you make the process your reward, the growth, the progress, the effort, the learning, then you've already won. Because even if the results take time, and they will, you are still moving forward. Think of a seed. You don't plant it one day and dig it up the next because it hasn't grown. You water it, you nurture it. You give it sunlight, and then in time it blooms. Your life is no different. Detaching from the outcome also sharpens your resilience. When you're not desperately needing everything to work out perfectly right away, you're more adaptable. You don't crumble when life throws you a curveball. You say, okay, this is just part of the path, let's adjust and keep moving. Success isn't a straight line, it's full of delays, detours, and dead ends, but when you're committed to the process instead of addicted to the result, you'll never stop walking. And that's what separates those who quit from those who win. This one simple shift in language can completely rewire your brain for progress and possibility. When you say, I can't, you are declaring a limitation. You're closing the door before you even try to open it. It becomes a mental stop sign, a signal to your brain that there's no point in trying. But when you replace those words with how can I, you trigger something powerful, problem-solving mode. Let's break it down. I can't is passive. It's final. It puts you in a box and tells you the box is locked. But how can I is curious, it's creative, it opens your brain to solutions, it says. There's a way now, let's go find it. Think about how many people stop themselves before they even start. I can't start a business. I can't lose weight. I can't learn that skill. I can't change my life. And so they stay stuck. Not because they truly can't, but because they decided they can't. They never asked a better question. They never challenged the story. They never explored what was possible. But imagine if those same people asked, how can I start a business even with limited resources? How can I improve my health even with a busy schedule? How can I begin to learn this skill one step at a time? See the difference. One mindset locks you in. The other unlocks doors. The moment you shift from limitation to curiosity, your energy changes. Your perspective changes, your belief system changes. You go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, from being problem-focused to being solution-focused. And when your brain starts looking for solutions, guess what? It finds them. This change also builds confidence. Every time you figure something out, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, adaptable, and resourceful. You start to trust yourself more. You start to see challenges as puzzles, not walls. It's also important to understand that how can I? It doesn't mean you'll have the answer right away. It means you're willing to search for it. It means you've opened the door to learning, experimenting, and evolving. And often that willingness alone is what separates people who grow from people who stay stagnant. So the next time your mind wants to say, I can't, stop, catch yourself, and instead ask, how can I? It may feel uncomfortable at first, but that question over time will change what you believe is possible for your life. If there's one thing that silently kills dreams, potential, and greatness, it's the addiction to comfort. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they aren't smart enough. They fail because they refuse to leave the comfort zone. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. You have to make a decision. Do you want to feel good right now, or do you want to become someone who feels proud forever? The truth is, everything you want, the confidence, the discipline, the strength, the success, it all lives just outside of your comfort zone. And the longer you stay inside that warm bubble of ease, the more you delay your own evolution. Comfort may feel safe, but it's slowly suffocating your potential. The comfort zone is predictable. It asks for nothing, but it gives you nothing in return. It's the place where excuses thrive, where dreams are postponed, and where regret is born. On the other hand, the growth zone, that's where the real magic happens, but it's uncomfortable, it's messy, it's uncertain, it stretches you, exposes your weaknesses, challenges your identity, but that's what makes it so powerful. Think about it. Every time you step into discomfort, you expand your capacity. Every time you face fear instead of avoiding it, you strengthen your courage. Every time you take action despite self-doubt, you build confidence. Choosing growth over comfort is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep in. It's having the tough conversation instead of staying silent. It's showing up to train when no one is watching. It's learning the new skill even when you feel awkward and slow. It's putting in effort today when there's no reward in sight. And here's the powerful truth: growth compounds. Every small step you take into discomfort becomes a building block. Over time, the things that used to scare you become your new normal. What once felt impossible becomes your reality. You become someone who is no longer driven by ease but by excellence. Choosing growth over comfort is how you transform your mindset, your body, your finances, your relationships, your entire life. It requires courage, it requires sacrifice, but nothing worth having ever comes easy. And nothing meaningful ever comes from staying comfortable. One of the clearest signs of a strong, developed mindset is the ability to respond instead of react. Reactions are impulsive, they are emotional. They happen in the heat of the moment without thought, without awareness, and most of the time they make things worse. Responses, on the other hand, are intentional, they're thoughtful, they're calm and rooted in clarity. And learning to respond instead of react will not only change the way you handle stress, it will change the way people experience you. Here's the truth, life is unpredictable, people will offend you, situations will challenge you, plans will fall apart. But when you're in the habit of reacting emotionally, you give away your power, you let the outside world dictate your inner state. Someone cuts you off in traffic and your whole day is ruined. A rude comment gets under your skin and you spiral into anger or anxiety. You receive criticism and you immediately feel attacked or discouraged. This reactive mindset is exhausting and dangerous. It keeps you on edge, easily triggered, and constantly at the mercy of other people's behavior. But when you build the discipline to pause and respond, you take back control. You choose your energy. You decide your behavior. You create space between the stimulus and your action, and in that space is your power. Responding requires emotional intelligence. It means stepping back and asking, what's really happening here? Is this worth my energy? How can I move forward in a way that aligns with my values? It's not about being passive. It's about being powerfully aware. Responding doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you master them. You feel the anger, the frustration, the fear, but you don't let those feelings drive your decision. You breathe, you think, you assess, and then you act with purpose. When you make this shift, you become unshakable. People can't control you with their mood or their attitude. Circumstances may change, but your character remains strong. You stop living in reaction mode and start living in intentionality. You lead with principle, not pressure. Over time, people notice. They trust you more. They feel safe around you. You start to lead by example, not because you're louder, but because you're wiser. Your mindset becomes a source of calm in a world full of chaos, and that is a rare and powerful thing. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you're having with yourself all day, every day, in your head. That voice, that inner dialogue, is either building you or breaking you. It's either pushing you forward or pulling you down. And here's the truth most people never realize. Your mindset begins with your self-talk. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, this is too hard for me, I'll never change, then don't be surprised when your life starts to reflect those beliefs. Because your brain listens, it believes you. The thoughts you repeat become the identity you live. The stories you tell yourself become the boundaries of your reality. Negative self-talk is not just harmless complaining itself. Sabotage in disguise. It drains your energy, it dims your confidence, it conditions you to expect failure, and worst of all, it becomes automatic, running quietly in the background of your mind like a virus slowing down a powerful machine. But here's the good news. Just like negative inner dialogue can destroy you, intentional, empowering self-talk can transform you. You can rewire your mental patterns. You can build a voice that lifts you, strengthens you, sharpens you. You can become your own coach instead of your worst critic. That doesn't mean you lie to yourself. It means you speak the truth with power instead of saying, I'm not good at this. Say, I'm learning and I'm getting better every day. Instead of saying, I always fail, say, every setback teaches me something new. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, this is hard, but I'm harder. These small shifts matter. They build a mindset of resilience, growth, and belief. And over time, your internal voice becomes your internal armor, protecting you when life gets tough, motivating you when you're tired, reminding you of your strength when everything feels heavy. Upgrading your inner dialogue also means being intentional with your words in private moments. It's easy to be confident when things are going well, when people are cheering you on. But what about when you're alone, discouraged, unseen? That's when the real mindset is revealed. That's when your inner voice either keeps you going or gives you permission to quit. So if you want to change your mindset, don't start by changing your habits or environment. Start by changing how you speak to yourself. You become what you consistently say. Speak strength. Speak courage. Speak belief. Speak victory even before you see it, especially before you see it. If there's one principle that separates dreamers from doers, wishers from winners, and those who talk from those who transform, its consistency. Not raw talent, not genius level IQ, not overnight success. It's showing up every day without excuses, relentlessly. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions repeated over time. They get excited in the beginning, motivated, inspired, fired up, and they go hard for a few days or weeks. But the moment it gets boring, or hard, or results don't show up fast enough, they quit. They restart. They look for something new, and that's the cycle that keeps people average. But those who win in business, in fitness, in mindset, in relationships, they understand something crucial. Success doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. It's easy to go all in for a few days. It's hard to stay in when no one's watching. It's easy to post your goals on social media. It's hard to grind in silence when the hype is gone. It's easy to start a new habit. It's hard to keep it when life gets busy, stressful, or uncertain. But the people who are relentlessly consistent, they don't need hype. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on the perfect conditions. They build discipline. They build systems. They do it when they feel like it, and they do it when they don't. That's the mindset that changes your life, because consistency compounds. What looks small today becomes massive tomorrow. 1 page a day turns into a book. 1 workout a day becomes a transformation. 1 new decision repeated daily becomes a whole new identity. Relentless consistency also builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through, you send a message to your brain, I'm the kind of person who keeps going. And every time you break that promise, you send the opposite message, I give up when it's inconvenient. Which voice are you reinforcing? Being consistent doesn't mean being perfect. It means being committed. It means showing up even when you're tired, even when you fail, even when it's messy. It's not about flawless execution. It's about refusing to stop. It's about developing an unshakable habit of action, a rhythm of forward motion that doesn't break under pressure.